always a good time when Dr. Carin Bondar stops by because you get all of these unique trips and adventures. Nice to see you again.
Thanks, it's great to be here.
Interesting journey you had earlier this year. French Polynesia was the target destination. How did this idea come about?
You know, it was one of those fortuitous things that just sort of all came together. A friend of mine who is into product placement and tourism and development of these kinds of things, we got together and I came up with the idea to create a series about biological adventures we might have, and I mean, the island of Moorea specifically in the nation of French Polynesia is a place that I've always wanted to go. It's been on my bucket list forever. So much amazing research goes on there. There's a station associated with UC Berkeley. There's a French station. The food is ridiculous, like the pineapples. I have an episode about pineapples actually. I mean, a lot of people don't realize this, but pineapples grow on the ground. I mean, it's one of those things that those of us in temperate climates don't realize. And the islands actually look like this. This is the island of Moorea, where we spent all of our time, and these jutting mountainous cliffs, and it's just absolutely breathtaking. It didn't disappoint for a second.
You have so many titles: TV host, author, and biologist. You're not just there for fun. Some interesting findings came about along the way. Let's talk about the sea turtles, because you brought back some footage too.
Yeah, so the video series is 5 parts. The first episode is about this sea turtle rescue center that we went to. So sea turtle poaching is still a very, very big problem in French Polynesia, and so this place called Tamana Otumwana is basically accepting turtles from all over French Polynesia. They also rehabilitate them. This one in particular was caught in some fishing lines, so the fin was almost completely severed. We also saw some 2-day-old little hatchlings that had been trapped in a hole and weren't able to get out. So we fed them, and we were able to kind of, you know, they basically make the difference for so many, and these are big animals. And to get them, there are those little hatchings, to get them past that age of being critically, you know, vulnerable to predators is extremely important, and that's what they're doing.
You also had the chance to hang out with the dolphins there too?
Yeah, so at one of the resorts that we went to, there was a dolphin program. Now, I was a little bit trepidatious about this because, of course, cetaceans in captivity is a big deal, and it's not necessarily something that all people are for. I had a very positive experience with the dolphins and the trainer there. They're doing both research and more entertainment-based stuff, so they're doing a lot of very interesting stuff to do with psychology and communication, visual communications, because, of course, dolphins are not primarily visual communicators. They communicate using clicks and echolocation and things that humans can't do. So they're working a lot on using different modes of communication to really interact with the animals on a much more intimate level.
How do you find, when you look at pros and cons of tourism for the local biology, given the gorgeous backdrop that they have there, does it play out more beneficial for the area?
Absolutely, I think so, and especially with all of the locals. Everywhere I went, there was this synergy between tourism, biology, sustainability, and of course all of the local economies that need to take place. So we, for example, did an episode about stingrays and sharks, and you could go to these very sort of deep lagoons and swim with the stingrays, and you can, you know, they bring sort of some fish to tease them with. They don't actually feed them. But the sharks also come into these areas, and it's strictly forbidden to feed the sharks, and this is to keep the shark population down, so that local fish, you can't feed them. No, it's absolutely forbidden.
Okay.
And this is to keep the sharks out of the lagoons so that the local fishermen can fish there and still obtain the fish to bring into the hotels at night. So there was just so much synergy between what the local populations need, the ecology, of course, and then marrying all that with tourism.
What was your favorite part of the entire adventure?
Oh my word, it was all so wonderful, but those stingrays were pretty amazing. They were so soft and gentle, and yet they were large, and of course we all have a little bit of nervousness around them after what happened to Steve Irwin, but that was just a very, very critical accident that happened to him, once in a million kind of thing. They were so gentle. It was just absolutely amazing.
So if people want to follow and live vicariously through your adventures, how can they do that?
So the series is on my YouTube channel, which is Dr. Bondar, and episode 4 will be released on Monday, and it's called Adventures in Biology, and each episode is basically a cool story about some of the things we encountered.
And there you go. You can follow Dr. Bondar on Twitter. Excellent stories. I love it.
Thanks for having me. Oh my gosh, life is good.
Every time you come on, there's something interesting to talk about. Final break. We'll queue up next week's shows right here on BT. Come on back. Are you inspired?